What are microplastics? You've no doubt heard about microplastics on the news. You may have even read some of the studies about how dangerous they are in the human body. Odds are the technology that I produced, Plastictox, was used in some of these studies. But what are microplastics? As the name suggests, microplastics are tiny plastic particles, less than 5 millimeters in size. Microplastics are the end state of all plastics. As plastic breaks down over time, all plastics will eventually become microplastics. Some plastics are incredibly slow to degrade into microplastics. Examples include things like my glasses, plastics used in technology, and anything plastic that is meant to be somewhat permanent. These products are of the least concern to the environment, animals, and you and I. Of the highest concern are plastics designed for single or limited use. These include virtually all food wrapping, disposable water bottles, polyester clothing, and shipping materials. This also includes things that deteriorate through their use by design, such as the tires on your car. As these plastics break down, they become microscopic. So small, in fact, that they can make their way into the body through the air, the gut, and the pores of your skin. The effects of these microplastics on the environment are massive, scary, and frankly, too much to cover in this video. Here we will focus on the effects of microplastics on human health and what can be done. Microplastics aren't just some buzzword or conspiracy. They're real, they're everywhere, and they're in all of us. Scientists have found microplastics in our food, our water, and even in human blood. This isn't fear-mongering, it's a fact. These tiny plastic particles can carry harmful chemicals, disrupt hormones, and cause inflammation in the body. And we're only beginning to understand the long-term effects. This isn't something we can ignore. It's not a trend, it's a crisis, and we have to take it seriously. Before we focus on the future, it's important to understand the history of plastics. In the search for an alternative to natural materials like rubber and paper, British inventor Alexander Parkes unveiled his new invention, Parkesine, made from cellulose. That's right, the first time plastic was used, it was completely plant-derived, not dissimilar to what some of our partners are working on as an alternative to plastic polymer plastics. In the early 20th century, synthetic plastics made their way into the world. Bakelite, named after its inventor, Leo Baekeland, was composed of phenol and formaldehyde. It was durable, heat-resistant, and most critically, it could be mass-produced. It was hailed as a miracle and a marvel, and industries around the world could not get enough. While it was originally used in electronics and construction, it eventually became the go-to answer for household goods. The plastic industry exploded. Big business found a way to shoehorn plastics into every industry. Finally, Bakelite, the combination of phenol and formaldehyde, was not versatile enough to feed the growing market, and the chemical biphenyl A was added, a chemical that we now refer to as BPA. The negative effects of BPA were so apparent that substitutes were utilized, promising to be a healthier alternative. However, this hope of a healthier alternative was all speculation. No reasonable testing was done. In the name of industry, plastic production continued to skyrocket. Scientists have been speaking about the dangers of polymers on human health for years. While some are quick to point to the $700 billion plastic industry accusationally, let's not forget who funds the industry: you and I. We love convenience, especially in the United States, but all around the world. I myself was guilty of utilizing disposable water bottles, one of the biggest vectors of contamination. It wasn't until seeing pieces of plastic in my own blood that the issue became incredibly apparent. While more active solutions are being researched by me and my team and our partners, we recommend the following, as it is inexpensive and accessible to everyone around the world. We encourage a 4-step approach. The first step is to get tested. Tests are available by many of our partners at Plastictox.com. Testing allows us to establish a baseline of microplastic levels in our bloodstream with our current lifestyle. The second step is what we call the tour. Mindfully walk through your house. Many are surprised at what they find on their tour. Plastic cutting boards, plastic utensils, and disposable water bottles are obvious vectors of contamination. But a little thought and research may lead you to investigate further vectors such as water and air. Before ending your tour, check your freezer. The number one thing that turns plastics into microplastics is heat. While a plastic bag of frozen veggies may cause less harm, that same packaging designed to hold this food while microwaved becomes a massive vector when exposed to heat. The third step is called the cut. How can we hope to overcome microplastics in our air and water? The same way we have handled myriad other contaminants, through filtration. Home air and water filters specifically designed for microplastics have entered the market in the last few years. While we have not yet tested the majority, we will keep a list of proven, effective products on our website. In the meantime, we know that HEPA filters are effective at removing microplastics from the air, and both activated charcoal and reverse osmosis water filters have been shown to pull them from water. The cut is taking everything you found in the tour and removing it, adding a filter to it, or replacing it with a plastic-free alternative. Step 4. Confirm. As with all scientific hypotheses, these changes need to be tested for effectiveness. We recommend waiting a full 6 months before taking a second test. With 6 months of reduced contamination, the body has time to use its natural processes and filters to remove some of the accumulated microplastics. We have found that in 6 months, the majority of individuals are able to reduce the amount of microplastics in the body by a measurable margin. It's important to remember that these polymers didn't accumulate in the bloodstream overnight, and they will not be removed at this rate either. These lifestyle changes take time, but they are effective. Now that testing is readily available, alternative methods of removal are being investigated, and the harms associated with contamination of polymers are beginning to be explored in depth. We are all in this together, and we will continue to provide updates on our website and socials as new research is released. Thank you for watching.